Hello dear creative friends. Today it's a very new place for all of us because yes, I'm not sitting in my dark and gloomy studio anymore. We are now in a more relaxful sort of room, so there's plenty of space for us to experiment and also have fun. So of course you came for the tutorial for the Crypto Punks in 3D, but before we start, there's something I have to show you. As some of you guys know, I love Star Wars, so when I got that mystery box, I suddenly was like, oh my god, we have to open this together and see what is inside, because I'm really curious about the dark side figure in here, right? Always open the mystery boxes with my Swiss knife, of course. Who is it this time? Yes? Oh, okay, I see. Alright. Because I'm really sure we have to postpone this for later. Let's go. Oh my. I should really start working on my teleports. So the council called and told us to start the tutorial, so I know I would also rather open the box, but let's open Blender. This is my very first time doing such a tutorial, so please just be a little bit more patient with me and of course dear Michael. We have the scene set up with two lights and one sort of a plane that is a big round, and then there we have a camera that I already somehow positioned, so it's gonna be an easier start. So let's go with Shift A. I'm gonna add a cube. Yes, we're gonna start with a simple cube. I'm gonna press 0 to see how it looks. We can just select it, right, like that. In a tab, edit mode, we're gonna sort of scale it down like this. And of course, we'll just try to get the right scale for the head of our Crypto Punk. So I think I somehow like something like this. Again, we're gonna press S, scale. This time we're gonna lock it in the Z axis and then just make the head somehow, I don't know, let's just try to make it this size. We'll see how it's gonna turn out. I don't really know myself. Nobody really knows anyhow, because when you do magic in Blender, it just ends up somehow. Okay, so I just went to the modifiers, and we're gonna add the subdivision surface. What that one does is just somehow rounds the cube itself. We can also add sort of more of the viewport levels over here, so you can see that we are somehow now getting a little more rounded cube, even though it's still in real a cube if we just turn off the modifier, right? So this is the magic in Blender. Anyways, so yeah, the more levels you add, the more kind of smooth it's gonna be. But let's just go right now with number 2. I'm gonna press Ctrl R, to make the cut. So if you just make a cut in the middle, you can suddenly see that the more cuts we add, the more sort of or less rounded it's gonna be. So I don't know, does this resemble the head of a CryptoPunk? I don't really know, but I also need to get to the auto mode, so that's more clear of how we're gonna see it. But okay, I think we'll just do more of that. Ctrl R cuts, right? So when you actually don't left click, you can somehow control, the height of it. So I think we'll just, I don't know, get it somewhere over here. But for now, I already kind of mess it up. So just Ctrl Z, that's how it is. Okay, you see, it's never perfect. Okay, but actually I'm gonna make that cut over here and also just here. I know I got an idea of how to kind of fix it, so I'm gonna switch to the transparent mode. So right now when we're gonna choose all the vertices, we're just gonna take and we'll somehow get all of them in that same layer. So now holding Shift, I'm gonna select the other bottom cut, S, Z, And now we can sort of pull it down so it's even on both sides. So that's actually what we needed to get, the rounded hair, at least here in this sort of upper part. So, okay, we really need to proceed with making the head kind of a little faster. So I think, yeah, I think this somehow looks kind of nice and round. It doesn't have to be perfect anyways, because it's art. Okay, so what about this shape? What do you think, guys? Should we just get it again, the whole middle, by selecting it still in the transparent mode, or sort of, X-ray mode, I think they call it, as that, and then just let's scale it even a little more down, so we're gonna get a nice head over here. We can also just select the top, right? Then we can press S and then sort of pull it up, so we're gonna get more of sort of a rounded, yes, like, this looks cool. Now we can select everything and scale it a little bit down of all of it. I don't know, maybe like that. Yes, this seems as a nice head of our CryptoPunk. I'm gonna actually stick so far with only, let me think. I think we can do 3 levels, so we get more details, and it's gonna be probably easier to work with. Okay, so right at this point, there is this irreversible step in Blender that somehow just gonna remove the whole cube and will apply the modifiers. So I'm just gonna go over here and then click on apply. So suddenly, when we get that cube and then press tab, you can see that we actually get the full mesh that is now kind of divided. And so, this part is kind of always a hassle, doing it in Blender, but I don't know, it's risk and gain game. So, okay, so we got a basic shape of the head. I just got back to the normal object mode. I'm gonna Shift D. So I'm gonna copy the whole head of our CryptoPunk. We can actually now just sort of go to the top view and then scale it down. So, this is actually gonna be the neck of our CryptoPunk, as you know. So I think the neck is, I don't know, it can be just twice as small as the head, right? So we can now just go to the front view or side view, whatever they call it, G, and now we can just freely move it around. So I'm gonna lock it in the Y-axis. So I'm just gonna carefully move it so it kind of ends at the very edge of the left part of the head. Yeah, like this, It doesn't have to, just make sure that it doesn't go over the edge of the actual head. And now I'm gonna press tab. We can select actually just any half of it, then press G, look in the Z axis and just pull it all the way down. Oh, you see now it's kind of messing up with me. Okay, this is probably, it doesn't have to be that long. So I'm just gonna, just get it kind of, not that far away. So voila, gonna get back to the normal mode. So now we kind of, got the basic shape of the head. I'm just gonna press the render. So this is the render of it. You can see all the edges, obviously. And, I always like just this plain, like meshes being rendered, even though it's kind of edgy and all that, but I just somehow like the feeling of it. I can't really explain it. And it also looks like an airport, AirPod, the AirPod 5 or 20, some of the future models. Anyways, so let's get back to Blender again. The next thing that we can obviously do would be sort of right-clicking on the head and just, click on Shade Smooth. So suddenly it just becomes really smooth, right? So we definitely like this because, yes, now it's perfect, low poly, but just very smooth. Who don't love these things? Anyways, we can also switch off the X-ray. I'm gonna Shift A and I'm gonna add a sphere. Yes, we can also reduce the segments to 16. because now we are adding the eyes, so we don't really need them to be that big. So S, I'm just gonna scale it down to some reasonable size. G, move it in front of our face, and just position the first eye of ours. I don't know, the sizes, and it's just something that you can always change, so I always prefer to make it as fast as possible. So the next thing we can obviously do would be just tap into the edit mode, having it all selected, just pressing A. If it's not selected, then R for rotation, lock in the Y-axis, and then press 90 on the numpad. So we're just gonna kind of sort of point the the eye into the front. So all right, the next funny thing we can obviously do would be also getting back to object mode, add a mirror modifier. So we're gonna click on the Y-axis, turn off the X. The mirror object is going to be the head. Voila, we have the second eye. And obviously, let's just move it somehow. I don't know, like, so it's just, it's at some reasonable place of the face of our punks, just for the start. Okay, so this would be the eyes. We can obviously, again, click right on that and click on the shade smooth. If it's still kind of too edgy, we can add another subdivision surface modifier, so it suddenly becomes really, really nice. So just keep in mind that you don't always need to create, like crazy poly models, because Blender is good. Okay, so back to the edit mode. I will actually copy. I'm gonna go click on that sphere. We're gonna press Shift D. So now it's kind of copied, again, with it's being mirrored, but I'm gonna go to the tab. Having it all selected, I'm gonna press R, Y, and then we're gonna actually rotate it back 90 degrees. I know it's kind of, surprising to, get it back, but at this point, we're gonna go to the front view or the side view, whatever it is. Again, X-ray mode, that's very important. We're gonna select all the bottom part of the sphere, and I'm gonna press X to delete it, and delete vertices. And yes, now we are making, I don't really know how to call this part of the eye, but the one that just covers, the actual eyeball. So here we go. We just got it over here. Okay, we can press A, then S to scale it a little bit, because usually it's kind of bigger, right, than like the usual eyes. And then just let's get back to the object mode, turn off the X-ray, and we will add another modifier, which is the solidify. So this one actually kind of extrudes or sort of make it a solid, because otherwise it would be just a very thin layer of nothing. So in here we have the solidify modifier, and we can just sort of add the thickness. So yeah, this is up to all of us. Just add some. I don't know. This seems okay to me. Okay, so that would be now we have the eyes already. Obviously now there is a nose and mouth coming up. So let's do that. So I'm gonna save the file right now. At this point, the things that we're gonna do right now will be really destructive, sort of. So I would just rather, save the cube if we kind of F it up. So I'm just gonna click on that head. They call it still cube, so I'm just gonna rename it so it's clear. It's actually the head. Okay, I'm gonna Shift D. So now we have a second head, but I'm just gonna hide it from the viewport and also from the render. So now this is kind of the backup that I usually do and create. So what do you guys think? Yeah, the eyes are, I think, at a nice position. So let's tap into the edit mode. So this is gonna be very tricky. We actually now need to pick the place for the mouth. So I'm gonna go with selecting the faces. I don't know, this place seems nice. It's a nice spot for the mouth. You know, when you look and see the real CryptoPunks, they usually have everything sort of tilted, and it's somehow, you know, not everything is aligned exactly in the middle of the head. So that's why you can also see that the mouth is now going to be kind of on the side, or rather on the sides. And so, and some over here we're gonna put the nose. So I think this would be a nice place for the mouth. So, so I'm gonna zoom in. We're gonna press I for inset. Let's see how it works. Oh, it actually works nice. So this is kind of a nice function that it creates, you know, a smaller sort of a rectangle within the faces that you created. So I don't know, the mouth now, yeah, we can just make it any size. Because we can always change these things. So now you can see that it looks like a Hannibal from, you know, the movie. Yeah, making faces is always really disturbing somehow to me. Okay, sorry for always zooming in and out. Okay, so right now having those 3 inner faces selected, I'm gonna press Alt E. And let's choose extrude faces along normal. So that's really important. Now we can actually sort of pull it either back and forth. So you can actually make also, you know, sort of a inverse mouth out to the outside. So I'm just gonna pull this all the way to, to the inner sort of part of our guys. So you can see that it's, the mouth is somehow, there it is. Okay, and when it comes to the nose, this time it's going to be very similar, so I'm just going to press 0 to see it from the front. Okay, kind of messing up. The blender is messing up with me. Okay, so I don't know, what do you guys think? Let's make it nose, you know, probably, this is a perfect spot for the nose. So at this point, we can actually make it in a very, there are many ways of making the nose. So we can either just take those 2 faces. I'm going to press E to extrude it outside like this. Why not, right? So looks kind of funny right now. Anyway, so now let's do the X-ray view again, because it's really important for sort of, you know, moving all the vertices and not just the ones that are visible from that viewpoint. So in here we can do S, scale, Z, and sort of make it, you know, kind of smaller. Then we can press G, Z again, and then sort of move the mouth back down, right? So we can see that we kind of get some sort of nose form in here, which is now kind of cool. I think this is reasonable nose, I would say. Obviously, and of course, when we kind of get the edges again, we want things to get smooth. We can always add another subdivision surface modifier, so you can see that now the things that were rounded are now kind of again subdivided and kind of circular and rounded. So this nose seems nice. Obviously, if we want, we can always just add more cuts here by Ctrl R, but this seems okay to me. Okay, so the last part of our head is going to be the ears, or actually just one ear here for the punk. So yeah, now you can see that the eyes are already at the wrong position, but don't worry about that. Let's just let's just get the face that we need for the ears. So I'm gonna probably select all those over here. Holding Shift, we can always, you know, click and add more. Let me see. So okay, I think we need one of the layer more, so let's just get this one over here. Okay, so again, we're gonna press E for extrude, and we're gonna extrude, yes, the first part of the eye. This time it's gonna be nice to switch to the front view. Again, just gonna, you can see that I didn't really get, you know, the exact middle because there's no middle faces. But anyways, so why I always get so distracted every time? So I'm gonna press E again, just, you know, pull it out, S, scale, Z axis, and now we can create yes, any shape of the ear that we want. Again, we can extrude, pull it out as that, and scale it slowly down, so we're gonna get a nice rounded ear. But anyways, again, we can also add another sort of cuts. So let's Control R, and you can see that suddenly the Blender just offers you to cut in either the horizontal or vertical ways. So if you're just gonna add over here another one and then leave it over there, we can again scale it in the Z-axis, and we can sort of play with the roundness. So this is pretty nice. So let's just extrude again. I'm gonna extrude the last part, and then I'm gonna really scale it all the way down, so it's okay. I mean, we can play a lot with this. So this is gonna be our crypto elf, I would say, probably crypto elf. Yeah, the ear is pretty thick, so let's go to the top view. Again, we're gonna go to the tab mode. We're gonna be and have the X-ray on as well. So just select everything, press S, and just scale the ear down. Let me see how it looks from the front view. I think we can G, Y, X this. Oh, sorry, G, Y, X, and just pull it more to the right side. And wow, it looks really cool. Kind of small actually, so I'm just gonna scale it up a bit again, but this time just in the other axis. So S, Z, like this. Okay, and also this part. Okay, S, Z, and yeah, just make it so it's kind of a little bit bigger. Obviously, we can play with this a lot. Okay, so the ear is also done. I think this is perfect. Okay, so let's add some materials. I'm gonna start with the head. Go to the material, add a new one. We can just make it a skin one. I'm just gonna add some color. So the best way to really see it is always turning on the sort of render viewport. So now you can see our guys. Yeah, it looks kind of disturbing, but try to not get scared by it. But okay, so I'm gonna select some nice skin color that would be, kind of resembling a normal human person. Okay, click on the neck. Just choose from the materials that are already here. So you can see that we have skin 1, which is perfect. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're gonna do that in the same fashion for the eyes or the eyeball covers. I don't know how you really call it. Okay, apparently they also do the same with the eye itself, but in here it's gonna be more tricky because we also need that, that black sort of dot in the eye. So it's actually gonna be a very similar material to the skin number 1. So now we just got that one. We're gonna create a copy of it. So now it just makes a copy, but we're gonna make it eyes number 1. So that color can be just a little lighter than the other. Now I'm gonna press tab to get to the edit mode. I think we'll just need X-ray. No, not X-ray, but well, we'll just let's get back. Click on the covers. Just hide it for a moment. Let's get back to the eye tab, and now it's actually gonna be very important to add a new material. This is gonna be new. Let's create a new material in the material slots here of that object. Now it's gonna black. And we're just gonna change its base color to all the way down to the black like this. And now having the face selection, you're gonna select the middle part and also the part outside. So just hold Alt and try to click here on that edge. Oops. Shift and then select the middle part. So this is actually going to be the part of that eye that is going to be black. And now click on assign, right? So that's important. And that's all we had to do. Okay. So essentially, let's hope it's going to work. And of course, it's going to work. We also need to turn on the eye covers, so now you can see that it's kind of getting there. I think we are almost done, so let's get back to the normal view of our meshes. And of course you could see that too, is that the eyes are somehow positioned in the kind of wrong and kind of disturbing position. So basically what we're gonna do right now is it's going to be starting with the eyeball, going to the modifiers, and we're gonna apply the mirror. So let's just click on that. Again, we're gonna do the same with the mirror of the eyeballs cover. One day I will learn how to say it in English. So just gonna apply both. So now that means that if we just move it, it won't be mirrored again. So now it's just kind of moving together. So just select both of it. And now I'm just gonna press G, lock in the y-axis, and just move it, just to the right side. So it's kind of in the middle, or the middle of it is somehow between the nose and also the mouth. So it's gonna kind of be proper. Okay, in that sense. Okay, cool. The CryptoPunks are also not looking directly into your eye, but they are kind of, I don't know, just sort of watch and look to the side. So eyeballs, yes. Tab mode, this time we can also switch to the shading viewport. So it's gonna be probably easier for us to rotate those eyeballs. So just gonna click somewhere on one of those eyes, just gonna Control L. So that way we're gonna select all the connected vertices, and now we're just gonna press R to rotate, lock it in the Z-axis, and now we can move the eye. So it's this is so disturbing anyways, Jesus Christ. I can see here on the very left side, upper left side of Blender, that it's around minus 17. So I'm just gonna press minus 17, enter, click on the other eye, Control L, R, Z, minus, no, just one minus 17. Okay, just minus 17, and again it just got moved also to that side. So obviously when we kind of position the eyes more to the right side, logically the right eye is kind of being at the wrong place, or not, it's not the wrong place, but it's somehow you can see that the other one is just way too out from the actual face. So at this point what I suggest would be just having it selected, just press P and then choose this selection. So this way, it got separated into another mesh. So now it's just a separate mesh. The same I would also suggest to do with the eyeball cover. So just click on the other one, Control L, P, and selection. So now it's also a separate object. Get out to the object mode, pressing tab. Hopefully you got that already by the end of the tutorial. So just gonna select the corresponding part of the eyes, 7 to the top view, G, X, and now it's just lock in the X-axis, and now it would just move it somehow a little bit to the back side. So that's very individual and just it's all up to the artist. So this is the result. I think we just got like the real, let's say this is not a prefab, this is just a pretty plain, full whole CryptoPunk that is super naked. So let's create some of the accessories, because that's the part which I enjoy usually the most about creating NFTs, that you can then, sort of experiment and be really creative in just, creating the assets. And so that's the part that is really the most fun. So I hope that you also enjoyed. So we'll just quickly show you how to create the cap in a very easy, simple way. So I'm gonna click on the head tab. Now we're gonna select the part of our head that is going to be covered by the baseball cap. So I would say that it's gonna be, yeah, I think this is a solid, part of the head that is gonna be covered. But obviously I forgot to X-ray it. You can see that only the front part of the head got selected. So again, press 3. I'm gonna select it again. So now you can see the importance of the X-ray function in Blender. So now everything is just selected beautifully. I'm gonna press Shift D, enter, or it was actually a left click, sorry. Then press G, Z, and just move it further, just slightly further up. It doesn't have to be that much. Anyways, we can also just scale it. So just scale our cap sort of, yeah, maybe like this would be nice. We're just really free to do any size. And then press B, we already know that one, and selection, yes. So now we got that part separated, which is gonna be the, the base for the cap. Okay, again, we're gonna go tab, and now you can see that it's in a separate mesh, so we can just easily edit it ourselves. This time I'm gonna go with the edges. So now we're gonna make that part that, the shade part of the cap. So basically I would just select manually holding Shift the edge over here. Just make sure that it's sort of even. So now you can see that I'm missing one over here, and I think I will just also add the edges. No, this time we actually don't want the X-ray, you see? It's not that always useful. Okay, side view, and gonna select the last edge over here. Top view, now press E to extrude. We can lock it in the Y-axis, and now just, pull it as far as you want. We can also check that in our camera viewport. So we can now, of course, G, Y, and then we just now, you can just pull it as long as you want, depending on how cool you want your Crypto Punk to look like. So I think I like this length. And tap again, back to the object mode. We're gonna add another modifier that is solidify. So yes, we're gonna now make it solid. So again, we can add thickness to it. It doesn't have to be that much. You can see that some reasonable length would be cool, because otherwise it's just gonna be way too thick. So I think that we can play with the arrows over here. And this seems, I think this seems cool. Okay, so obviously it has a wrong material, just the skin one. So I'm gonna go to the materials. Just gonna delete that one, create new. It's gonna be the cap or baseball cap. So that's a new material that we just added, and now we can choose any color. And as you all guys know, I like black, but also kind of a red one. So I'm just gonna create that classic red cap of the CryptoPunk series. There's this red cap. All right, so let's see the render. In the meanwhile, when you were creating the punk and following my tutorial, I also tried to demonstrate the generation of the collection with different assets as well. So beside this normal male guy, I also have a male number 2 that is having a different skin type, and also there's an alien colored punk, so that is kind of nice. And I also, beside the red cap, I added a orange cap, the hipster cap of the salesman's, yeah, hopefully. And also a red mohawk that is always on all the time my favorite. So then I call those head accessories. So those are the assets that go on the top of the head of our punk. And then there is also the eye accessory. I just created some 3D glasses and as well as the classic shades. You can also see that in the folder structure I have actually an empty sort of collection that will allow us to sort of have the empty combination. So there will be a combination also without any eye accessory as well as without any the head accessory. So that's why there's this empty collection. Okay, the basic configuration to actually get the RAPTOR or the generator that I created working, we actually have to just turn all the layers on, which means that it just creates a huge mess in the scene. So now we just have it all on. Fully on. All right, so this is the RAPTOR generator. So first of all, what we gonna do is the analyze scene. When we analyze the scene or click on that button, it actually recognizes all the attributes and the traits that are in that collection. So now you can see the eye accessory have 3D glasses, shades, and basically everything that I showed you already. Obviously, we can also choose different rarities to sort of influence the rarity of certain traits to be later on in the final collection, but as we have really a small number of traits, we actually get only 36 combinations, which is nice, but it's not thousands and thousands as you usually would do. But I think for the demonstration, this is and should be enough. Okay, then we'll just skip the part with the name of the NFTs and description that is going to be later added in the metadata. But you know what, I'm just gonna go with my lovely punks. So that's the name of the NFT, but actually I will add that and as a name, and then we can also, actually that's gonna be the description. Okay, so it's just gonna really do this step fast, and this is just, the name is actually 3D punks, right? I just totally forgot. Okay, there's no animation. We also don't need any GLB files, the 3D files that contain the whole mesh and that you can sort of see in the 3D space later on. Basically, this is a very simple setup. So you would probably not need a Mac generator that is supporting the animations, but perhaps there will be some cool animations in the future with those punks. Who knows? Maybe if you want to see, just let me know. Okay, so beside that, there's pretty much nothing else that we have to actually do. So as it's already, we're just gonna hit the generate button. And then, after a while, it just tells that the generation is done. And now, when we're gonna, go through the timeline, you can see that we get different combinations of those traits. Oh my God, this one is just my favorite already. Basically, as I left, the number 36 here, it just generated all 36 possible combinations. So basically, we actually have all of those combinations in here. So in order to get those, outputted, basically all you need to do is going to the render and then render animation when you actually have all the output setting out. So I will actually just show you to make sure that we won't be missing anything. So basically you go to the output properties, and in here in the output section, you need to specify the folder. So I'm gonna go with the render folder over here, just gonna accept it, and then again. So now the file is, the folder is set. We'll stick with the file format of PNG because that's actually what we want. You can obviously also choose a different color settings here, but at this collection, we actually don't need the RGBA with the transparency, right? Because there's no transparency whatsoever. And this is pretty much all the settings. Very easy, just simple. Now you're just gonna go and hit the render animation, and that way you will get all those frames from all the way number 1 to to 36 rendered, meaning that you would get, you know, the image of each of those punks. And that's that's been the generation part. Don't you think it's super easy and a lot of fun to create NFTs? Because as long as you can, you know, create 3D assets, you know, like the 3D glasses or the cap, and the different, you know, sort of, you know, skin types and all sort of other fun things that you can actually add to the collection of yours, you know. I'm not talking about this one, but just the one that you gonna create and sort of, you know, get famous and rich, of course. So yeah, pretty much just using the RAPTOR plugin with the Blender is enough. So yeah, let's render the animation and have a look at how it looks later on. Let's report to the council that we finished the whole tutorial and now we can get back, finally. I definitely should not do this to our beautiful couch because otherwise my wife will kill me, but hopefully she won't see that. Anyways, so you can guys find all the files, you know, the Blender file, I mean, with the 3D CryptoPunk down in the description. Just download it, it's gonna be for free. All you need to do is just fill in the email. So that's all you need to do to get that blend file of 3D CryptoPunk. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. May the creative force be with you. I should not do that anyways. From what movie is this? Some lame sci-fi movie probably. Tongue and... oh, I'm just alone today here, so Tongue is out. Apparently this fish knife is still a good tool for opening such boxes, right? So guys, are you ready for the reveal? It's so great. Oh my god, what was that? Oh, that was just the chip against the thieves, but obviously we don't need that. So, really? Is this really all the black bag? I can sense that the knife is gonna be very useful. Just gonna go through it. No way! Look at that! Look at that! Oh my god, it's the Jedi! Look at her. Zoom, 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 zoom. Oh my god, her eyes. So hypnotizing, right? And that stand with the sword. Oh my god. Oh, it's actually a lightsaber, sorry. Oh my god, the head is also kind of... What's that? What about the lightsaber? Does it do that? No, it doesn't. Oh, it does. But when you hit the lightsaber, it just somehow moves the head. So they want pasta for tonight? No? Really? Are you sure pasta is good? It brings a lot of creativity.